Hello, it's John Hampton. You're in conservative company. On July 24th, President Obama spoke to a group gathered at Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois. Among other things, he talked about the economy and health care. He seemed still to be in campaign mode as he tried to elicit support for more government spending and the now floundering hulk known as USS Obamacare. As you know, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act was signed into law in March of 2010. But it was just last month that the President decided to delay implementation of certain provisions of the law. It is easy to posit that the reason for this action was to prevent the loss of congressional seats currently held by Democrats in next year's midterm elections. The President also talked about reducing our deficit by cutting with a scalpel unnecessary programs and reforming others. He reasoned that this would make our government more efficient. Now that's certainly not an irrational statement, but let's look at some very recent examples of anything but efficiency in government, which President Obama must be held accountable for. Fox News, July 31st, 2013. The Congressional Budget Office reported that the delay of the employer mandate ordered by President Obama will cost taxpayers $12 billion. I certainly hope we have some prominent conservatives step forward on behalf of we the people on this matter. Can you imagine the uproar from the left if a Republican president had made such a costly decision? I have 4 more examples to share. I will identify the source and read brief excerpts from each. From judicialwatch.org, dated July 22, 2013, headline, "Oops, U.S. destroys millions in computers." And yet another example of how government wastes our tax dollars, an agency that most Americans have probably never even heard of, mistakenly destroyed nearly $3 million in technology because it thought the equipment had been hacked. Turns out it was all a false alarm. The computer network at the obscure Economic Development Administration, which operates under the U.S. Department of Commerce, was never violated. Nevertheless, the agency got rid of the equipment old-fashioned style. Employees destroyed their computers and keyboards with a hammer. Let's not take time and analyze the situation so that we can come to a rational decision. No, if you even suspect that your computer may have been compromised, destroy it immediately. Video of giddy hammer-wielding federal employees to follow. From freebeacon.com, dated June 28, 2013, headline, U.S. to spend $771 million on planes Afghans can't use. The U.S. government is about to spend more than $771 million on military aircraft that the Afghan people, quote, lack the capacity to operate, unquote. This is according to the Special Inspector General for Afghan Reconstruction, SIGAR. The Department of Defense says that it is moving forward with the purchase despite SIGAR's warning that the planes will go to waste. SIGAR additionally discovered that DoD awarded $553 million to Rosoboron Export, a Russian government agency, after receiving SIGAR's recommendations that moving forward was imprudent. FoxNews.com, dated July 29, 2013, headline, Watchdog report finds millions in government payments to dead farmers. The Agriculture Department has paid millions of dollars to dead farmers over the last several years, according to an audit released on Monday. The Government Accountability Office estimated in a new report that agencies within the department may have paid more than $30 million to thousands of deceased recipients between 2008 and 2012. The GAO found that at 2 agencies that play a big role in aid for farmers, until changes are made, these agencies cannot know if they are providing payments to or subsidies on behalf of deceased individuals. The report found that At-Risk Management Agency, which deals with crop insurance, a review of payments showed $22 million may have gone to more than 3,400 individuals 2 or more years after their death. The report also looked at payments from the Natural Resources Conservation Service and found $10.6 million went to more than 1,100 deceased individuals 1 year or more after their death. Where is this money today? Now that the government knows it made a ridiculous mistake, has it made any effort to retrieve this money? From thedailycaller.com, dated July 23, 2013. Headline: The Pentagon is spending taxpayer dollars on what? Joint Base Lewis McChord in the state of Washington received $3.5 million from the Department of Defense to purchase land around the base to protect gophers that inhabit the area. DoD also gave Eglin Air Force Base in Florida $1.75 million to save a tortoise habitat. Are these noble causes? Right now, August 2013, I say no. With our economy so precariously positioned, I can't imagine that gophers and tortoises are taking up space on anyone's agenda. Especially gophers. They tear up my grass every summer. Is this really President Obama's idea of more efficient government? And let's not forget about the huge amount of taxpayer dollars destroyed by government investment in green energy companies like Solyndra, EnerOne, and Abound Solar. For even more examples of wasteful government spending, you can read my article, Big Government, Wasteful Spending, Loss of Liberty. And you will find that on inconservativecompany.com. Now, to be fair, all presidents have faced their share of fraud, waste, and abuse. But for President Obama to broach the topic of efficiency in government when there is so much chaos within his own administration is quite hypocritical. And remember, during his first 2 years in office, Mr. Obama could have accomplished virtually anything via his Democrat-controlled Congress. Had he been genuinely interested in making productive and efficient changes that benefited the majority of Americans, we would have been much farther down the road toward destination prosperity by now. The notion held by many in Washington that the frivolous loss of massive amounts of taxpayer money is, well, nothing more than a consequence of governing in 2013, or in some cases even considered the new normal, must be vociferously rejected by we the people. Taxpayer dollars lost to greed, corruption, and scandal can no longer be tolerated. Our republic is buckling under the weight of such destructive behavior. Any politician in favor of further government expansion should be of great concern to all Americans. Going forward, we can expect even more debt, political brinkmanship, chicanery, and entropy, as these are the toxic waste left by an ever-burgeoning government apparatus that resists all attempts to slow its progress. If allowed to continue, these ravenous elements will certainly end to the complete loss of our freedom and the demise of our once revered and respected nation. Thank you for watching this video.